Rejection is something that we can't get away from. It's woven into relationships and it hurts, it sucks, really. So what we have to do is figure out how we're gonna work with it. And I wanna tackle it in 3 different ways today. I'm Stacy Rocklein. I'm a relationship literacy coach, and I help people who are interested in committed relationships to communicate, create boundaries, and build intimacy so that they can create meaningful connections without changing a thing about who they are. So welcome. Okay, let's just dive in. Rejection. Now, people think of rejection like initially as when, say, you're not in a relationship yet with somebody and you maybe ask them out on a date or something like that and they say no. So that's like rejection in a relationship that hasn't even become a relationship. But we have rejections happen daily inside our relationships. We reject each other constantly. And sometimes we don't mean to do it. Sometimes we do mean to do it. And we have to figure out how to manage that so that we can come back together as quickly as we can. Starting with feeling rejected. Okay, here's the thing. We make this about us. We decide that rejection is about us, and we make it a really, really big deal sometimes, okay? Like if you walked up to somebody and you offered them like a string cheese, okay, right? Would you like this string cheese? And they're like, no, thank you. Then if you allow it, that could feel like a rejection. It's not really that much different than asking if somebody wants to go on a date with you and they say no, thank you. They're just both offers, right? They're both offers and the other person doesn't want that right then. So they say no, thank you. And we just make it into a huge deal. So there's that, first of all. And then we make it about us, right? It's usually not about us, actually. It's usually about the other person and what the other person wants in the world and wants in that moment. And it's offer specific. Now, I'm making like a sweeping grand statement, and so this may not be true 100% of the time, but most of the time, the only thing that's being rejected is the offer. It's not you. It's not the person. It's not, comment on your worthiness, but we do that, right? When somebody rejects some small thing that we're offering, we decide they don't want that thing, they don't want us, we must not be worthy, and we make it a really big deal. When we're feeling rejected, okay, it just happens, it's no big deal. You put an offer out, the other person rejects it, and you can feel the feeling of rejection, right? I always recommend you try to find out what that feeling feels like exactly. When you feel that coming up, that's when you can say to yourself, okay, right now, this is not a good fit for that person, right? In this moment, they don't want that thing. If the person doesn't want the string cheese, are we going to take that harshly? It's the same thing if they don't want to go out on a date, they don't want to have a relationship with you, they don't want to have sex with you, they don't want to go on that vacation with you. It's that they don't want that offer at that time. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rejection of who you are. You don't have to take it that way, right? If life is all about, finding the good matches, right? Of all things, we've talked about this before, finding the good matches, the people who are good matches, the experiences that are good matches, the resources that are good matches, then life is about some no thank yous, right? It just is. We can't say yes to everything. And we don't want to say yes to everything. And we don't want people to say yes to us if it's not the right thing for them, right? It's all about like figuring out where the closed doors are, okay? If you walk down a hallway and every single door you see is an opportunity, you want to know which ones are closed because it gets you that much faster to the open ones, okay? So a rejection is really just a no thank you, I don't want that at that time, instead of taking it to heart. So watch yourself as you go through that experience and try to reframe it as lighter, as not about you, as just about this offer, and as it's a positive for you because it gets you closer to good matches, right? Okay, next, taking risks. We have to watch out for the reasons that we put offers out, okay? It's very important that we do that. And I want to talk about like which ones to avoid and which ones to go for, okay? When we offer things because of a need, always be like conscientious of the use of the words want and need. Want is something that I desire. It's exciting. Need, you can feel the constriction in it. You can feel the desperation in it. You can feel the scarcity in it. So when you say things like need, that's a beautiful red flag for you. So when you need something, and that's why you're offering, right? You need validation. So you're offering something, and when someone doesn't give it to you, that doesn't feel good because you're not out there for the right reasons. When you need to earn your love, some people believe that they have to earn their love. They have to go do, help in order for them to be loved, right? So if you're making a bunch of offers and they're being rejected and it's coming from need, that's something that you can change from your end, right? We all feel this, okay? We can feel when somebody is offering us something and it feels kind of sticky. It doesn't just feel like they're offering it and we can say, oh, no, thank you, and they're fine. We can feel somebody grasping. We can feel somebody trying to reach in and hold us, stick us to something, stick us to a contract, stick us to a transaction where we're going to have to come deliver later. We can feel the neediness of somebody. And many people are going to say, no, I don't want that. And so when you step forward because you're needing and you're putting these offers out, and then someone can feel that neediness and they put the brakes on, and then you end up with rejection. And it hurts worse when you've approached it from a need. When you feel like there's a void that has to be filled, and so you're offering and it's getting rejected, that hurts even worse, okay? So you wanna watch out for that because those sting more. Why are you making the offers? You wanna be coming from a want to, right? What do you want to do? You want to connect with somebody, you want to share something, you want to give something, and freely, without any trappings, without any need, but just with a want to. When you throw it out like that, hey, do you want this? Can I help with this? And the other person's like, no, I don't want that right now. It isn't coming from a void, so it's a little bit easier to bounce back from a rejection like that. So look for your motivations when you go to take a risk, and you will avoid some of those stickier rejections if you can avoid that whole kind of need category, if that makes sense. And then finally, rejecting others. We got to talk about that because we do it, right? We do it. There have to be no thank yous, right? There are going to be things that people offer, help, resources, relationships that are just not going to be a good fit for us, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay. Delivery really helps, right? Delivery really helps. How we tell somebody that we don't want that. We can say no thank you. We can tell them we appreciate them. We can make sure that they realize as much as possible that it's not about them, it's just about us and where we are right now and what we want and what we need, so we can soften any feeling they're going to have of rejection, right? Because if you put yourself in that position, right, they're taking a risk, right? That's hard to do. So recognize that people are taking risks and you want to soften that. You also want to think about why you say no to things, okay? Some of us, maybe me, walk around feeling like I can't lean on anyone else. I can't take anyone's help. I have to do it myself. And so I am trying to not be a burden to somebody. I am trying not to impose. My no thank yous often are because I just don't want to be a hassle to you in your life, right? But I want to reframe that for you, because what we do in that situation, and I'm like way guilty of it, is we rob the other person we rob them of the chance to help us. We rob them of that feeling of being a helper and being a server. And I know how much that fills my heart up to be able to give to somebody else. And so by me not wanting to be a burden, I take that potential away from somebody else. So watch why you say no. Pay attention to why you say no to offers and see if there's anything in there that's just kind of your own stuff that you could give as a gift. In this case, the gift is the yes. The gift is that, okay, sure, I'll take your help on that, right? I meet people all the time that have to practice accepting help from other people, right? And in the process of accepting help, they strengthen their ability to accept help. They avoid a rejection of the other person, and they allow the other person to give. It's like a win-win across the board. When somebody offers you something, I want you to think about their identity. Okay, so here's an example. My dad loves to cook. I love to cook. My brother's a chef. When they're visiting me, and I want to, be hospitable to everybody in my house. So I want to plan meals and I want to make the meals. And they're kind of in the kitchen, sort of looking around, like, what can I do? How can I help? What can I do? How can I help? And I have to recognize and remind myself that the track I have that's like, no, I just want them to relax and just get to enjoy themselves as a guest. I think that that's helpful. But I've recognized that their identity is somebody who cooks, and I'm taking away the opportunity for them to give something of themselves. So it's not just that I'm saying, no, thank you right now, I don't want that, or I want you to be able to relax. I'm actually rejecting the offer of their identity to me. And it's really important that we say yes to those kinds of things. Because whenever somebody will feel like we're rejecting their identity, we're rejecting who they are, that is gonna sting. And coming from somebody who loves them very much, it's gonna sting even worse. So we wanna think about that.